open house. We're excited to have you here tonight as we explore the transformative opportunities offered through our 2025 study seminars. At CWB, we believe in the power of immersive learning experiences to open minds, foster empathy, and inspire change. Tonight, we're going to review two of our flagship programs, Poland Personally, which dives into Holocaust history and Jewish cultural resilience, and Marching Down Freedom's Road, a profound journey into the United States civil rights movement. These seminars, as you are well aware, are more than just written. They are life-changing opportunities to engage deeply with history, connect with remarkable stories of courage and resilience, and bring those lessons back to your communities and classrooms. We're thrilled to have Jackie here with our seminars manager. So Jackie, would you like to say a few words of welcome? Jackie's going to walk you through this application process, but also she is your go-to for any questions that you have during this seminar process. Jackie.
Good evening, everybody. I apologize ahead of time. My voice has been on the brink for the past few days, but I am the seminar manager, and I will be probably the one most in your life as we get closer to traveling to Poland. I prepare everybody. I send messages to everybody, and we form a community together. Ellen is usually another face and familiar name that you will see along the way, as we have our meetings once a month. We have about 5 meetings, and they're once a month towards the end of the month this year, starting in January. And this is to help prep you for the seminar and to form a sense of community as well, as I said before. Anything, whenever I send out information to you, I ask that you take care of the information. If I'm trying to collect something from you, please, I'm the one that gets the process going, and I work with land operations and very closely with TSIPI to prepare everything for you, so that when you touch down in Poland, everything is taken care of for you. Not a worry in the world. You just have to focus on what you're there for. And anytime, you're never a bother reaching out to me. So always, I'm the one any question you have, anything you need, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Jackie. And she really means that. Before, during, and after the study seminar, you'll all be connected via WhatsApp. So we'll have this conversation. So if something is happening and you need to get in touch with one of our staff members, we are available 24/7. Of course, we have Sippy with us. Sippy, would you like to say a few words of welcome?
So first of all, I see Sam. Sam, thanks for joining. I guess you are ready to talk later on about the study seminar to the south, correct? You're muted. Okay.
I don't think I have an official role here.
Okay, so the first half hour
we're going to introduce you though, Sam.
So the first half hour we are talking about the Poland seminar. We already accepted a lot of people. I just want to explain to you, because I see here 3 students that basically need to apply but were accepted. I talked to all 3 of you, Simone, Carolina, Kaden. There are 2 more, but let me just explain to those of you that needed an overview on the Poland trip. For the Poland trip, we have 2 buses, and we take only 10 selected lay people. The rest are educators. We hope to go with a survivor, and we are going with educators that come from Cleveland, Youngstown, Sarasota, Florida, Akron, Ohio, and Pittsburgh area. We have 2 scholars on each bus that their expertise is really Holocaust education, and they know Poland very well. We also have a Polish guide. And I'm happy to go over the itinerary, but I think that what I'd love to use the time for is really to open it for your questions, because many of you I know, and many of you I know are planning on going. So please raise your hand if you have questions, specific ones to ask about the Poland trip.
I'd like to know.
Yeah, Ellen.
Yeah.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi.
There's not enough of us in this world, so
That's
it's always great when I meet another Ellen.
That's right. I'd like to hear a little bit more about the itinerary, how many days in each city, if you could do that.
Okay. Ellen, do you want to talk about the itinerary?
Absolutely, sure. I actually have a PowerPoint. You want me to just pull that up?
Yeah, let's go over the itinerary in a PowerPoint. We can talk about it. Our study trip to Poland is very serious. It teaches about what life used to be before the war, teaches about the war, and teaches about what's happening in Poland now. I think the key is to meet different speakers, scholars, the Jewish community from Poland, and we'll start by starting
Absolutely.
in
So,
Warsaw.
You have you've met Sippy, you've met myself, you've met Jackie Kate Lakazowitz, our educational programs director, is with us here as well. She will chime in quite a bit, I'm sure, when we start talking about marching down, because she is the CWB liaison that will be traveling with Marching Down. As Sippy mentioned, we travel with scholars. So Samuel Black, who you just met, he is the director of the African American program at the Heinz History Center. He will be traveling with you to the South, as well as Dr. Michael Naragon. And we have
She's
two
interested in the Poland, Ellen. Right now, let's just focus on Poland.
Okay.
Whoever
Avi
is
Ben-Hur and Natalia Alexian, who are our lead scholars, one of which will be on each of the buses. I'm going to skip over. I had a little video clip I was going to show, but we'll skip right over that and we'll go right to our itinerary. So the flight, you'll leave on a Saturday, June 20th. You will arrive on June 21st. The seminar officially begins on June 22nd in the morning. The first day is in Warsaw. The theme of that day is Jewish life in Poland. Throughout that day, we'll be doing a variety of activities, having a city tour orienting us on the bus. We'll be going to the Jewish cemetery in Warsaw. We'll be traveling to the Emanuel Ringelblum Jewish Historical Institute. We'll be going to the zoo and be learning about one of the righteous among nations. Many of you may have seen that film, The Zookeeper's Wife. We'll be going to the oldest synagogue in Warsaw, the Novgorod Synagogue, and then we'll have our opening dinner. Tell me if I'm going too fast here. You can always chime in and interrupt me. No worries here. The next day, we'll get up early. We will take a walking tour of the Warsaw Ghetto, touring some of the physical remains of the ghetto, talking about Janusz Korczak and his orphanage. We'll be going to the Umschlagplatz Memorial. And again, as Jackie mentioned, there is pre-seminar sessions embedded in our learning. So we will begin those in January. So you will have a firm understanding about the importance of all of these physical places, but then you'll have the opportunity to walk this history as well. And then we'll talk about the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising and the monument honoring resistance. That's in the morning of that day. So you can see already that we have quite a busy itinerary. The afternoon of that day, we will travel to Treblinka, which is located about 50 miles northeast of Warsaw. We'll learn about the implementation of the final solution, talk about the context of Operation Reinhardt, And as we do in all of the camps, we will be doing a memorial service. You can see here on the screen our survivor, Howard Chandler. He lost both his mother, his sister, and his brother in Treblinka. And then we'll be traveling back to Warsaw to spend the evening in Warsaw, dinner on your own. The next day, we will get up and we will leave Warsaw. We will pack up all of our belongings, put them on the bus, and then we'll be traveling to Lublin and Majdanek. You can see the theme there. We will go to Lublin as our first stop. We'll look at the old town and the Grodzka Theater, which is a student project that's grappling with the demise of the Jewish community and what happened during World War II. The afternoon of that day, we will get on the bus and we will drive to Majdanek, which is not that far from Lublin. And it is the only camp in Poland with its original extermination apparatus intact. Really powerful day. A lot of these days embedded, of course, is some really traumatic, difficult histories. So we always will embed reflection time, and we are very mindful that there are events that can be triggering emotionally for our participants. So we are sure that you will be carried safely in and safely out, so to speak. The next day, we will travel to Howard's hometown, Starkovice, which is the current day name of the town. And in that town, we'll meet with some of the dignitaries of the town. Howard will share stories from his childhood, talk about the town and what the town is doing to kind of memorialize the Jewish presence in the town. And then we will be going to Krakow that evening. Is that correct, Jackie? I'm not making any mistakes here, am I?
No, that's
Okay.
it. It's fine.
Good. All right, so we arrive in Krakow. We're spending, as you can see, the first few days in Warsaw, one night outside of Lublin, and then we arrive in Krakow. In Krakow, we will get up the next day and we will board the bus and we'll go for probably one of the most difficult days of our journey. We'll travel to Auschwitz. We'll see both Auschwitz I and Auschwitz II. We will be guided by guides from Auschwitz-Birkenau, as well as Howard Chandler will be traveling with us, and he will talk about about his experience in Auschwitz, and it's very powerful, very moving. As I mentioned, a memorial service at all of the camps. That evening is Shabbat, and so a good way for us to kind of shake off the trauma and the angst of that day, and for us to come together and to celebrate the fact that we are still here, the fact that Howard is still here, the fact that he has great grandchildren now. So really a celebration of life, the Shabbat dinner. The next day we will spend in Krakow. The theme of that day is Jewish life in Krakow before the Holocaust. It will encapsulate a walking tour of the city. We'll have a Shabbat lunch at a lovely restaurant, and then a free evening on your own. The next day, we'll be traveling to the salt mines, packing up everything on the bus. We'll be leaving Krakow that evening. We'll be doing the salt mines, and then we'll be going to Kielce, where in 1946 there was a pogrom. We'll talk about that in relationship to Jews returning after the Holocaust and what that meant for them and their safety. Then we'll return to Warsaw after we have a closing dinner at the restaurant. We are staying the final night at the airport hotel, which is right across a short walkway to the airport. So super easy for people to find their way to the airport, to be able to hop on the plane and travel back to the United States, those that are doing that. And
Thank
of course,
you, Ellen. This was perfect. I just didn't know.
Ellen, is there any questions that you have specifically?
Did you
No.
mention that we are going to
Okay.
Lodge?
I don't have that. I apologize. Jackie, what day is Lodge?
Lodge is on Tuesday. Another city that we are going to be is on Tuesday. We are going to Lodge too. So you can see how serious and full the itinerary is. Okay, sorry. Ellen, did you want to say something?
No, that's great, Sippy. Thank you. Yes, as you can see, we really do pack our days with a lot of really intense learning experiences. Sippy always explains this trip like a roller coaster. You will see the worst of humanity, but you'll also see the best of humanity. You have an opportunity to meet with people that are on the front lines of helping refugees in the war in the Ukraine. And, we'll have time to reflect on this learning together as a group. When you return, people will ask you, how was your vacation or your trip to Poland? And it's going to be really hard for you to answer that question because it is such a traumatic experience, but it's also one that I can tell you is filled with intense periods of joy. The fact that you have developed this community that you've learned with prior to this travel. When you return to the States, they are the community that you are going to be tapping into when you have questions that you want to bring into your educational or community spaces. So we really do value that sense of community that we have put in. Sippy.
I want to talk to the students. We only select 5 to 6 students. Those of you need to know you're not going to be seen with your parents. If your parents are going, there are 2 buses. You will be on one bus. Your parents are on another bus. If you want to be with them, which is really a good time to be with them, it will be up to you. We have a special educator that will be with you when there are free times. You're going not to go with your parents, you'll go with Polish kids. And I just wanted to make sure in January, we will have, Jackie and I will have a special meeting just for you guys. That's number one. For the lay people that we accept on the trip, sadly, we don't take a lot. Sometimes we do trips only for lay people or the board. But I wanted to say that if you have a chance to come before Friday night, we are going to have an amazing Friday night dinner. And you on Saturday, whoever is arriving a day before, teachers, educators, whoever is there, we will offer an extra day of touring in Warsaw. So if your flight arrives at 10, you can join us at 12. If you came on Friday, you have an extra day for free of touring. I would like to hear some questions. Anything you're worried about? Let's talk about the war. So I want to make sure that if it's not safe, you understand that we don't go. It happened that Poland is really safe for now. We will meet, by the way, people that saved Ukrainians. Last year we brought on the study trip somebody that survived October 7th for the testimony. And I think the key will be also the interesting people that you will meet, Jewish, not Jewish, scholars. So you'll come back after 8 days really knowing a lot. And of course, the expectation will be not only to the students, but to all of you to be proactive and follow up and do stuff that we can talk about. Okay, questions? No questions?
I've seen a lot of people whose costs associated with the Tara Ann Carter, what are the costs associated with the program for educators? Tara Ann, where are you from?
I know that some people are with no mic.
Okay, LA. So maybe Tara Ann, we can have this conversation over email. So As you know, Classrooms Without Borders is a nonprofit organization. We're funded through grant writing and through donations. So many of our grants are hyper local in nature, meaning that we have the ability to subsidize educators from our local area more robustly. For people that are out of the area, that makes it a little bit more difficult for us. So we can have that conversation, Tara Ann.
Is Sheila here? I can't see. I just see her name. Oh, Sheila, are you joining us?
I'm listening. I'm listening. It sounds incredible. I have a cold,
Maybe
so
call me
excuse my
after.
voice.
Listen, can you call me after?
Sure.
Do you know my number? Can I give it to you?
I'm gonna write it down. I'm ready.
You'll all have it.
412-915-9182.
Hi.
Great,
Sounds
thanks.
incredible.
It is incredible. I hope that all of you had a chance to watch the video, or you can take the, did you guys? Is there anybody here?
I
that
didn't see the
can-
video. I was hoping to see it.
Who
So
said?
it's about 25 minutes, maybe a little bit shy of 25 minutes. So Sheila, I can send that to you. For those of you that have already gone through the application process, it is on our seminars page on our website. So it's
Ellen, can you send an email? Who did not see the video? Ellen.
Sure.
Okay. Can you send them an email?
Sure.
Ellen and Sheila and
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just send them to everybody that signed
Okay.
up for this session today. So all my registrants, it'll make it super easy for me, and I can send that video to all of you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
For sure.
And by the way, if you go on our website, every year there are videos. We are very transparent. We share everything. There are so many study seminars in this country that learn from what we do. And we are very, very transparent. So you can also watch the videos for Germany and for the study seminar to the south. Okay. Anybody else?
Gina.
Simone.
Gina, nice to see you, Gina. We've been corresponding via email. It's nice to
Hi.
put a face to.
Hi, Ellen. Hi,
your name.
Sippy and everybody else. I'm Gina Castellino. I am at Carnegie Mellon University. And I was intrigued in looking at all of the materials about I'm calling it a community impact project, but a project following the experience and the opportunity for participants to bring our knowledge back and have some type of impact project. And I'd love to hear a little bit about, I'm sure that takes shape for people after they've been, but maybe for those who are with Classroom Without Borders, to share one that you have seen that has really wowed you or had you inspired to see what a participant has brought back and been able to do in their community.
Okay.
Absolutely. I would love to share that with you. So one of the things that we ask for all of our participants to do is to share their experience with their greater community. We call that witness in the living room. Every participant is asked to do that. But for our educators, we ask for them to do an impact project, as Gina mentioned. And that project can take many different avenues. We give you a list of some ideas, but it is not mutually exclusive, whatever you choose to do. So this past summer, we had an educator that actually along the journey, she gathered primary source documents from every one of the locations that we explored, and then she brought that back into her educational space and created a station activity. So it had poetry, it had she actually put together a suitcase that maybe somebody who was fleeing their home would have brought with them. She went to antique shows. She went to used stores, used stores like a Goodwill store, and she put together so that the students could have a lens into what this looked like. We also have educators that have positioned their districts to teach a Holocaust curriculum, to teach a genocide curriculum, if it hasn't been in their curriculum. So given, a little bit of a larger project, we had an educator in West Virginia that positioned the legislature in West Virginia to make Holocaust and genocide studies mandated in West Virginia. Unfortunately, it did not pass the House. It was kind of tied with another bill, and as often happens when legislation is tied with another bill, it kind of, stalled. But it can be anything you choose it to be. So we've had educators that have created their own documentaries. We had one educator from Texas who created a documentary and then submitted it to the short list for Emmys, for regional Emmys, and he was actually nominated for a regional Emmy. Unfortunately, he did not win the Emmy, but it's an honor just to be nominated. Yeah. And Kate and I got to attend that Emmy ceremony here in Pittsburgh, which was wonderful. So wide variety, and we'll help you brainstorm as well.
I see my friend Athena. I don't know if she is there, but I see her name. Okay. Other questions? I just have to tell you, Ricky Lau, that teaches like 200 students at CMU, had some interesting speakers after he was inspired. And one of the professors that we take from Duquesne did a very big day and brought Michael Birnbaum for a week of speaking. And it was always a follow-up to the study seminar. There is a lot of powerful projects.
Hi, Tippy.
Oh, Athena, I'm so happy you're here, and I hope you can come. Okay.
I have a question about the application process.
Yes.
So if we complete the application, but we are not able to get the reference within the next week or so, is that something that can be submitted later on?
It absolutely can. Jackie, you can speak to that.
Absolutely. You can just put up a form, go ahead and put a document, say forthcoming.
Okay.
And then I will check with you, if you haven't, come up with it for, usually sometimes it's not your fault. It's the people you're asking and they're just not.
A little late with like the time of year, asking my principal for a recommendation. Yes. I think I need to give her winter break to write it. So
and that's a great question because really we're getting these applications in fast and furious. So if you are contemplating applying, please do it and do it quickly, because we would hate for you to lose a spot because of not putting it in time. So make sure you do that. Space is limited, unfortunately.
Also,
Tippy knows I was a late addition on the Germany trip.
Yeah.
Also, if you're really thinking about it and you're ready to press that button and apply, make sure you look at your passports now. Make sure everything's in order with that. I'm constantly checking what is needed to go into Poland, so don't worry. I'm the one that worries about anything extra. I think the UK is going to start a process as of January. And so my eyes are open and I take care of that for you. So don't worry.
But do worry about your passport. Make sure that it's current. Yes. And make sure it's current 6 months out, right? It's 6 months out of the date?
6 months out, it has to be. If it's going to be expiring, then you need to go ahead and get a new passport and let me know. I need to know that information. If you are flying with us, that's really important for me. And the second thing I did want to mention with students and with everybody, everybody on the seminar is asked to bring $100 because we like to tip along the way. We give to synagogues and places like that, bus drivers. So we ask that you bring $100. And we also, you will have a few dinners. You will 3 lunches and 3 dinners on your own, but you're not on your own. You've probably, usually the students all go out to dinner together, and dinners are very, very, very affordable there. $15, you can have a meal. All other meals are on us. We have most dinners and most lunches for you. I just want to give you a heads up for that.
Thank you, Jackie. That $100 is important. And we collect it when we're in Poland. And I had one participant bring me $100 in ones one year. I don't need $100 in ones. It
Ellen,
could be $100 bill. It can be some 20s, and it is in USD. And if you would like a receipt for that, I absolutely can give you a receipt for that.
because it's 7:35 and we wanted to go to the study seminar to the south. I would ask for those of you that are going to Poland, any questions that you have. If you don't, take my number. It's 412-915-9182. Please call me so you can, we know, we have a wait list and I don't want to keep people on a wait list. We need to finalize because in January we start buying tickets. We are gathering the names of all those people from Florida, from Sarasota, from Cleveland. Everybody has a number, just so you understand. By the way, I forgot to say that from Pittsburgh, we have 5 spaces for 3 professors and 2 students from CMU, and 3 professors and 2 students from Duquesne, just for your own information. There will be 10 public school teachers from the Pittsburgh Public Schools coming. The superintendent of the Pittsburgh Public School went on our study seminar this year, and we will be having other teachers. So call me if you want to discuss anything, and if we are done, then I would just leave this room and stay only with those that are interested to go on the study seminar to the south. Unless you want to hear about it, because that's another amazing experience. You can do it next year. And I wanted to thank Kate and Sam, who are leading that trip. Ellen, anything else before we leave?
I am good. Sippy has given you her contact information. Both Jackie and my contact information is on the website. You have our cell phone numbers, you have our emails, so you can get in touch with me and Gina. Yes, let's connect on offline. Terrific.
I see Jamie. Is it Jamie from West Virginia?
It is Jamie from West Virginia. She's going to apply for marching down.
Amazing.
Hi.
Okay, amazing. Jamie, wow, I'm so excited. I just noticed your name. So I'm really excited. You're such a, are you still the head of the social studies?
No, can you hear me? I have a bad
I
connection.
can hear you, yes.
Okay. No, actually, I am teaching middle school now. I moved to, I'm in public school teaching 6th grade. So it's a really interesting experience.
It's all, teaching now is all interesting experience.
Yes, it is.
I'm glad,
Yes,
I'm
it
glad that
is.
you can come to the South. That's very powerful.
Yes.
Okay. Kaden, no question? Okay,
And
Estelle?
you're welcome to stick around if you'd like to
Yeah.
hear about marching
Yeah.
down as well, but we're going to transition to marching down just to assure that we have enough time and that everyone can get a good night's sleep and be ready for the work day or the school day tomorrow. So Kate, I do have a PowerPoint, but I would like for you to introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about the Marching Down Freedom's Road Study Seminar to the South.
Hi, everyone. I'm so grateful that you're making time for us on a Sunday evening and for your interest in marching down Freedom's Road. It is part of my job responsibilities, and it's, a really favorite job responsibility to be the CWB staff who leads Marching Down Freedom's Road, which is our study seminar of the American South. I won't get into the details of the itinerary because Ellen is so well prepared to do that, but there are a couple of things that are really just worth making sure everybody understands getting into it. One of the things that Classrooms does better than other organizations is to put teachers into encounter spaces with witnesses to history. So we traveled through Poland with Howard Chandler, a survivor of Auschwitz. But in the South, we meet a freedom rider, people who participated in the Selma voting rights demonstrations. We've been able to spend time with an artist activist in previous years, and I'm hopeful that she'll make time for us again. It's also really important to us on this seminar that we spend time thinking about the really vital relationship between Reform Jewish communities and the Southern Black communities. because there was really strong allyship there as they were both working together to confront white supremacist thinking. And so to honor that relationship and to think of how it offers an example for life in 2024 and 2025, we do visit some historic synagogues, which I think brings a layer of complexity to the seminar. It's so important, I think, to come learn about our own country. I know that travel to Europe seems so glamorous, and it is really an amazing way to spend your summer. But the country in which we live and work now is a dynamic place, and the American South that I visit in 2025 is going to be different than the American South I visited in 2024, 2023, and 2022. And I can't say enough about my gratitude to Mr. Sam Black of the Heinz History Center, who every time he agrees to be a lead scholar on this seminar, I feel just so fortunate. So that's not, I'm going to stop gushing now and turn it over to Ellen and Jackie for their expertise.
Jackie, would you like to say a few words about the application process before we go over the itinerary?
Sure. I mean, it's the same as we said for Poland. We have you have the application, and then thereafter we meet with you, and we have interviews some of the times, and once you're accepted, we send you the registration and welcome you. And we also have meetings leading up to the when we leave in the summer. We will have 4 meetings, correct, Kate?
5. We'll have 5.
5. We will have 5. Okay. Yes, we'll have 5 meetings. Once again, it's to form a community, but also to prepare you with a base knowledge as you prepare to go on this seminar, because it's a very impactful seminar. I see people. I've watched, we also have a beautiful video of it, and just watching the participants as they go through their days in the South, you can see a lot of emotion, a lot of a learning that's happening, and these educators come back changed, and they want to change their classrooms for the better, so.
I would just add something to Jackie's comments about the pre-seminar meetings. We are also really cognizant of making sure that we study the civil rights movement in the American North also. And so we do use Pittsburgh as like a case study for what is happening, because the same efforts that happened in the American South in the 1950s and 60s are happening here in Western Pennsylvania in the 1930s and 40s. I think we did a meeting last summer, in 2024, like at the Highland Park pool, to talk about desegregating the pool. We did a tour of From Slavery to Freedom at the Heinz History Center to ground us in the evolution of Black civil rights in America. And there's one important difference between this seminar to the South and to Poland, which is you don't need to have a passport. You just need to have valid ID to get on the plane. And so that does give us some wiggle room with the application deadline, because there's no panic over anybody's passport status.
All right, fantastic. So let's just very quickly go over the itinerary. You are welcome to stop and interrupt me whenever you feel that there's something that I'm not covering in its entirety. For this study seminar, we've done it a few different ways over a few different years, but we think that this, we've worked out the best model possible. So what we are going to do is we're going to have our participants fly in and fly out. So we're going to ask for you to fly in to Atlanta no later than 10 a.m. on the 22nd of June to begin the study seminar. At that point, our bus will pick you up, and we will begin our journey. As you can see, you have some participants from last year's study seminar there. The first day, you're going to hit the ground running. You'll be viewing the Human Rights Museum in Atlanta, driving to the hotel, checking into the hotel. You'll be having a wonderful welcome dinner at a outstanding restaurant, Mary Mac's, and we are still Very hopeful that we will be joined by Charles Person, who is the oldest living original freedom rider that made that entire journey. So you'll have an opportunity to talk to him. As Kate mentioned, you know, we put you in these conversational spaces, so you will be able to ask questions. He will tell you about his experience, and it's always, as Kate mentioned, every year we hear different testimonies from our witnesses, so you learn different nuanced pieces of that history as well. The next day, you'll be traveling to Montgomery, as Kate mentioned, right? The allyship between the Jewish narrative is important, so we embed that in. You'll visit the Hebrew Benevolent Temple, bomb for its rabbis' radical justice work. You'll explore the Martin Luther King National Historical Park and the Ebenezer Baptist Church. You'll drive to Montgomery, and along the way, we'll pass through some southern landscapes. We'll talk about how the geography shaped the civil rights movement as well. Kate mentioned that Samuel Black will be traveling along with you as a scholar, and we'll also travel with Dr. Michael Narragon, who is the head of the curriculum, socialized curriculum department at Winchester Thurston, an amazing educator, very versed in civil rights history. So you'll have those questions and those conversational spaces at the sites, but also on the buses along the way. You'll tour the state capitol grounds, and you'll visit the Dexter Avenue King Memorial Baptist Church and the First Baptist Church. Both of those places are pivotal in the civil rights movement. You'll spend the overnight in Montgomery. The next day, we'll board the bus and you will travel to Selma. You'll have an opportunity to walk across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, which of course is the site of brutal Sunday clash that occurred. You'll meet foot soldiers who supported justice efforts in the 1960s, people who have been arrested over a dozen times by the age of 12. You'll meet with young voting activist Joanne Bland. You'll have an opportunity to visit the National Voting Rights Museum, which is a small museum, and its volunteer curator, Sam Walker, will talk about the museum. You'll spend the overnight in Montgomery. The next day, we will be in Montgomery. You'll get an opportunity to visit the Equal Justice Initiative, sites including the National Memorial for Peace and Justice and the Legacy Museum. Those moving sites and the museum exhibits really address the history of racial inequity in America from the founding of the Americas through mass incarceration today, and talk about the intersectionality between that. You'll spend the overnight in Montgomery. Kate, jump in if I'm missing anything. The next day, you'll board the bus and we will travel from Montgomery to Birmingham. There you will tour the Rosa Parks Museum, visit the Mothers of Gynecology, which Kate had mentioned, Michelle Broward, who has created a just really awe-inspiring monument to 3 young Black girls who were experimented upon to understand gynecological health. So much of what we as females, take for granted in today's world in 2024 was done without the consent of these young girls. You'll depart for Birmingham. In Birmingham, you'll visit Kelly Ingram Park, known for the nonviolent protests. You'll visit Temple Beth El to learn about the Jewish congregation's contribution to the civil rights movement. We'll spend the overnight in Birmingham. The next day, we will travel from Birmingham to Memphis. You'll visit the 16th Street Baptist Church. You have a little bit more of an opportunity to explore Kelly Ingram Park and Dynamite Hill, a neighborhood central to the struggle of desegregation. You get a chance to tour the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. We'll have a Shabbat dinner in Memphis, and you'll be spending the overnight in Memphis. The next day, June 28th, we will be in Memphis. You'll have an opportunity to visit the Sax Museum, which is a museum of American soul music. So you really spend some time diving deep into the importance of music. Michael Narragon does a fantastic job of embedding each day's learning with music that was contemporary to the civil rights movement. And then you'll have an opportunity to visit the Winters collection to learn more about the role of the Black press in documenting and advancing the civil rights movement. We will have a farewell dinner, and everyone will fly out of Memphis. So the flights that you will be securing, sorry for that, will be, sorry, I'm just going to stop sharing. My computer had a little bit of a crazy thing going on there. You will have an opportunity to fly into Atlanta and fly out of Memphis. Kate, I will turn it over to you.
And you will fly out of Memphis transformed by the experience. And something that I think is so rich about this opportunity is how empowering it feels to know that we're talking about history, but we're talking about how it manifests in 2025. And so there very much is a sense of like, oh gosh, like what can I do? And being able to do something about it. So Michelle Browder's art speaks to 3 young girls who had been enslaved. And so that speaks to history. But Michelle Browder has purchased the land where this doctor had his clinic where he did these experiments. And now she's opened a midwifery center there, right? Like she's reclaiming that narrative. And you think about how important that is when we know what we know about Black maternal mortality in the United States, right? So there's this contemporary piece to it. Joanne Bland says to us so wisely every summer, boy, that right to vote must be so important if people keep trying to take it away from me, right? And so there's really this sense of what can we do as citizens of this country and what can we do as educators who have young people entrusted to us? What questions
Open
can
to
you
any
answer?
questions? Yeah. And as I mentioned, just like Poland personally, applications are coming in. So we do urge you, if you are thinking of applying, please get your application in as soon as possible. As Kate said, right, a little bit more wiggle room with that because of the not needing to have a valid passport, but please, we would hate to fill up and you to lose this opportunity. There is urgency.
If you're worried about the weather, I'll tell you that we do a good job of keeping you hydrated, getting you into the air-conditioned bus. And that last year when we were in the South, it was actually hotter in Pittsburgh that week. So we don't let that deter you. We'll take care of you. And my contact information will also come out in the follow-up email that Ellen will send with a link to the documentary. It's just such a special opportunity, I think, to see the place and where we live and work. And I, in 2022, went as an educator before I joined staff full time and thought to myself, like, it would be okay if I never came to Alabama again. And now I can't think of passing a summer without going to Alabama, which has turned out to be so much friendlier and welcoming than I had expected. And I've got this sense of like the shame over what my narrow-mindedness over what what Alabama in particular was going to be like. And I'm so glad that I had that opportunity to evolve past that thinking. And I know it's been true for other people who have come with us also.
And as Kate mentioned, I will send a follow-up email to everyone. So those of you that were here for Poland personally will get the link to the Poland personally. Those that are more interested in marching down, you will get the marching down link. Everyone will get both of those links to both of those films. All of our contact information, both Kate, Jackie's, and myself, and Sippy's, if you have any questions, any concerns. As Jackie mentioned, if there's a stall on one of the pieces of the application, your recommendation letter, we would prefer for you to send the application in, just put in something that says recommendation forthcoming, so that we can start processing your recommendation. We know that those, your application, we know that those letters of recommendation sometimes take a little bit longer than you would have liked. Sippy's on the phone, so I'm not sure if she wants to say any goodbye.
And listen, all of you heard Sippy's phone number. She is like the one person I know who answers every single unknown phone number she gets. Like she's like a daily hero in that sense. So please do call her or text her if she's asked you to. She will answer.
She does. She does. And it's such a pleasure to see people online here with us with such interest. Thank you for being with us tonight.